All right. What's up, guys?
Somebody.
Not
How's it
much.
going?
Hey, Sifu. We got Scott and Coach Reza here asking some questions to Sifu Amin Jani. Now, this is totally unscripted. We're just gonna throw some shots at you, Sifu. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Um, the first question I got for you is so right now there's an issue with people and in terms of stress and anxiety where people are high stressed out, high strung because of the holidays. Um, there's so much going on that we got to do. What are some ways that we can, stop stressing so hard? Like, because stress is the cause of most diseases. What is it that you think is the biggest thing that people can do differently, whether it's stop doing a certain thing or doing something else, like starting something new? Is there any advice that you would have for stress during the holiday times?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the holiday times represent celebration, and people are stressed out to celebrate. When celebration should be going on every day of their life, not just waiting for the holiday. If they wait until the holiday to do it, it's going to be a very stressful thing, I guess you could say. But other than that,
So you kind of say they're out of practice.
sure, of course. And holidays are in a way a good reminder to despite the whole glamour and conglomerate things and the big businesses trying to profit off of holidays. I mean the concepts behind them, whether they're history-wise good or not, either the principle of them is togetherness. At the time these things pop up to bring people together. It's just the being together is something that's very easy to do every day. But when we save it for a lot of times like this, it can be difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So it's like people are being unnatural. It's because they're not used to being together. So it's kind of like they're putting on a front, I guess.
It's too caught up in their own me. So when do they have time for people until they're told that they have to? Eh,
Mm.
If you're told that you have to be me, 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 me all the time, and then on this day you got to be for everybody else, it's a challenge.
Mm.
In their day to day life, they just aren't used to the camaraderie and celebration of community that we used to have once upon a time.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when they
Okay.
go to do it, it's difficult, stressful, unusual.
If you look in like American culture, for example, you'll see like even as back as the 80s, once like video games and TV came out, as simple as they were. I mean, even if you go further back, there was the radio that brought people together, actually. But when you got to the age of TV, for example, and especially in the 80s when nice little Nintendos came out, you'll see that all of a sudden parents would let their kids be raised on the TV and the video games instead of a family life and culture that was passed on from their parents, the ancestors.
Mm. So it started changing around the 90s.
Still in the 90s, there was still a sense of trying to bring something good that was original and unique. But in today's time, people want everyone to do the same thing so they can relate to it.
Mm. Same thing as like sitting in front of a TV and watching football for Thanksgiving.
Sure.
instead of a table where there's no TV.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, I mean, I guess see now, so on days like this, today's Thanksgiving, right? So now's the time when people are all getting together and trying to be thankful and be positive. But you're trying to say that this should be happening on a daily basis, basically, right?
correct.
We used to in days past. Every night
Mm,
we'd spend together with our family or have a gathering of community members and family, you know. That
that's
was
true.
very common.
That is the norm, and uh, it's something that in this day and age, it's not been. I kind of feel bad, in a way that's been lost. Like, with all the well, as things get more accessible, the accessibility, like wanting to have comfort over connection is one big issue.
Mm.
Sure.
Well, don't you want to be comfortable while connecting with others? If it's too stressful, people are going to just run away.
Yeah, this goes back to what you originally asked in the beginning, and I didn't say anything. And with the root, if you want to go to the roots, and it's because people are in a state of flight or fight. Correct me, Scott. How do I say this? Fight or flee?
Fight
Fight
or
or
flight.
flight.
Yeah.
Fight and flight. What does this come down to, really, is that people don't realize that they've been overstimulated on their nervous system. So they're very reactive to everything. And this hyper state, stress, anxiety, and everything under the sun comes with it. Eventually, disease. So the lack of this connection causes that.
Mm.
Sure, we can all be like self-sufficient with our environment and our roles that we play, but at the end of the day, without real connection to and I mean this for people, like not to people. I mean people real connection to like nature, their original nature of themselves, the way this machine of the body that's given to us, this technology, most advanced there is, it's operating always perfectly. Yet what we always do is looking for comfort, 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 comfort. So now everyone's become, even in this generation more than ever, because comfort has become so uber, excuse my language. Yeah, this comfort level has now made everyone very sensitive. And with that sensitivity, it's like everyone's being, like back in the day, you would be cordial at your work with your coworkers, and then you could go and live your life and do and be whoever you want to be. But now everyone is like a manager of managing everyone else all the time. And you can't say this, you can't do that, you have to say it this way, you have to do that, pronouns, this, nouns. I don't want to get into stipulations, but the more the more comfort that's been given to us, the more complacent we've become, and the less content we've become.
Would you say it's kind of like a vicious circle where if you don't, you know, seek out a certain amount of stress for yourself or, training, so to speak, and you give yourself comfort, that'll lead to sensitivity, which will lead to more stress, which will make you seek comfort, which will, inevitably just keep going that way. And you'll get more and more sensitive and more
Yeah,
stressed
it's the
out.
path of entropy.
Right. So
Mm.
we have the symptom of the problem and like how it works. Do we have any like prescriptions for what people ought to do to try and, make that better for themselves?
Sure, the most easiest thing. You don't have to exercise or meditate or eat healthy or anything like this to miraculously find these kind of benefits through lifestyle. You literally, just from where you're at, be more aware. Awareness. Practice of awareness.
What do you mean awareness? Like that's there. I know there's exercises you can do to build your awareness. Do you mean self-awareness? Do you mean awareness of what's going on outside?
A good way that Amin taught me was to focus on something internal, actually, or part of your body, one spot, and essentially just maintain your focus and awareness and concentration on that spot, so that you can build that muscle. And it doesn't matter what it is, your tongue, your tooth, your finger, whatever it is. Put your mind and awareness on that and stay there for as long as you can and build up. And eventually, you'll have a good sense of concentration, focus, awareness. And
Like a strong muscle. Like any kind of gym you would go to work your biceps. It's this kind of muscle of awareness.
This is a
Constant.
mental muscle you're talking about, so you can develop it with anything.
Yes. And when you have that kind of awareness, like this, there's no way negative things can come and touch you and affect you. To a certain degree, of course. I mean, there's nothing you need to fear. There's always danger in life. But even in the face of danger, fear is your worst enemy when you fear danger. In this flight or fleet people are living in, for example, it's like if you saw a saber-toothed tiger standing there, but if you had a strong awareness and you looked at that saber-toothed tiger and it knew you had awareness, it would turn around and walk away because it would
Mm.
understand that you are aware. But if you got all of a sudden decided to turn around and run away, that's the end of you.
yeah, then you're prey.
Mm.
So, how much do you think that looking back into the past and looking forward into the future contributes to this phenomenon people experience of stress, anxiety, depression?
The more comfortable people want to become, the more distressed they become. See, the more comfortable they become, the more they wonder why everything feels like it's a weight on their shoulders and adding up to them. Because this is they're not expressing themselves. They're not celebrating. They're not dancing. They're not singing. They're not having joy. They're not doing things. Even if they are like, yes, I am dancing, singing, but there's other reasons why they're there. For the comfort reasons, because of what people think. People don't ask the questions. They don't understand why do I want money? Ask. Well, if I have money, then I'll be able to buy good things and take care of my family. Okay. And then what? And then what? Keep asking the questions. Like, well, then people will look at me a good way when I have money, a nice car, nice clothes. Like, why do you care what people think? Well, because why does it matter? When you keep asking why for everything that you want or try to do in this life, everybody wants to be comfortable. They want to be comfortable with money first and foremost, unfortunately. Actually, usually, and then it's relationships and then health. It should be health, relationships, and money last. But they don't ask why.
Mm.
So when opportunities come up, hey, I can give you a quick shortcut to have more wealth. People will jump on it, and then they'll forget, what about my health or my relationships? Or if there's a way to get a quick jump on relationships, and then what about my money and my health? Or if I'm quick on my health, what about? So they don't ask questions, what it takes away from. They don't find the balance between the things. Because being, like I said before, being comfortable, like wanting comfort, leads to conformity. And conformity leads to the lack of being content. Peace comes with content,
Mm,
yet everyone thinks they will find peace and comfort. While comfort
mm.
is just a form of conformity that's keeping them away from content.
Wow. So if something made a person uncomfortable in the past, then, you know, there if a person can't let go of that discomfort that was created from a past situation, then it's going to set them up for failure because it's almost as if, they're going to bring that same thing back into their present or wanting to be comfortable in the future. So I'll hustle hard now, trying to make money, and who cares, you know, about my health now as long as I can be comfortable later with money. That's going to destroy somebody's health and they may die before they even get to use the wealth.
Yes, that's true.
So comfort, I see where it comes in with the past and the future. But more along what Scott was trying to say was what what can people do to get away from that? Because, the past tends to get people hung up so they can't move forward. And so many people we know are stuck in the past. They haven't moved on from high school. They still got the same mentalities and whatever scarred them or past they can't let go of. They just want to be comfortable now, so they'd never get past the
Listen,
past.
families, all this stuff, this past, the past you're talking about, this is the, again, awareness. The only reason why people go back to the past is because they're not being aware.
Mm,
The present moment, just literally aware. Like, okay, you want to call something being aware is being in the present moment.
So
Sure.
the prescription for this stress that comes from anxiety, the worry of the future and depression, which is kind of looking into the past,
Yeah.
is just awareness. All you have to do is practice focusing, being aware in the moment, and learning how to concentrate and focus that awareness so that you don't look into the past or the future for what is in the now.
That's a beautiful way to say it, and that is true. And this is where everyone's going to say, "Well, that's too hard to do to be aware of the moment." Easier said than done. How do I be aware of the moment? It's just there's not about even the moment because the moment is the next second. Yeah.
yeah.
So so already this moment is the past, and the moment that we just experienced directed the future just a bit. So that's why simply awareness gets
Mm,
rid of the past and the future. And it's not about even being in the moment because the moment is timeless. That's how to be timeless. So it's not about being in the now, it's about being timeless. Only through awareness is possible.
mm. Yeah, that moment, being in the moment is a huge fad nowadays. But I like what you said. Don't worry about being in the moment because that'll draw you into as well.
I
So
think you're
just
trying to say you're always in the moment, right?
you already are, yeah. You just have to flex that muscle, that awareness.
Feel.
Okay. Now, the awareness, like you said, is simple as just looking, not looking, but
No,
being aware.
not just now. That's the. It's so hard for the subconscious mind to perceive.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You're about to ask me a good question, Reza.
No, you're fine. I thought that you were answering already. So the subconscious mind can perceive awareness. Like if if I'm, let's say I'm experiencing stress or anxiety right now in the moment, then what can I do to not experience that? Just simply go to my hand and start being aware of the pulse in my hand? Will that stop it?
That sounds very funny, but it's very possible. It works for a lot of people. It's the same as like being in a dream versus being just dreaming versus being lucid. The moment you look at your own hands and you realize You see your own hands, you become lucid, and then you're lucid dreaming. Same with while we are awake. Is the moment you have concentration, you need awareness. Awareness, whether we are awake or unconscious, is the same facility.
Mm.
It's timeless.
Okay, cool.
Also inexhaustible.
It seems so simple.
So going back to community and like the erosion of that, do you think that like division is like discomfort for people and that's why they've stopped being communal animals and they're more segregated and kind of by themselves, a lot lonely?
That's a great question, and I think you already know the answer to that. And the answer to that is yes, absolutely.
Well, nowadays people seem to be, looking to others for comfort. So they're, I mean, even when we were younger too, I was always trying to be around people and for comfort. So even though I think nowadays it's different because even when we have people hanging out with us, they're not really with us. From what I've seen, our even our closest friends and stuff that when they come to visit, they have agendas. They have motives, ulterior motives. Like it's not just to come and say hi and see how you're doing. It's I
You're not
want to get this for myself, or you know what I mean. I need this, so let me go do this or that, and there I need that from him or her. So they'll go out their way, you know, to themselves. They'll tell themselves, I'm going to do this because they need me to do this, but really they're doing something for themselves. They're on their phone. They're, even they come hang out and they're just on their phone. It's like, are they even hanging out? Are they here? No.
they're just trying to do good always, you know. For that's where conformity comes in from comfort.
Mm,
They're trying to be very comfortable, so they become conformed to these ways without any awareness. It behooves them. Whew, shoot, right over their heads.
mm.
And then they wonder why they can't find like actual contentment.
Contentment within stillness.
Is awareness
It's like
still?
they always got to be
You
doing
don't have to
something.
be still. You can be moving around. When your outside is moving, inside can be still. When you're sitting still on the outside, inside can be moving. But that's not a problem. That's a good thing. But knowing where and why and how it's going, that's the thing that's forgotten.
Mm. So
It's like
lack of awareness is creating the discomfort.
out of comfort, we get a automatic car instead of a stick shift.
So if my leg is shaking right now, I'm thinking this is making me comfortable, but actually this is a sign of discomfort, right?
Sure.
Now, if I'm aware that my leg is shaking, is that enough? Or is there something else I should do?
It's enough to be able to stop yourself, I think.
Hmm.
And it's not even about stopping yourself. It's enough for you to find that awareness alone is enough to calm down so you can find content. Like with it being with you. It's okay. It's not that you have to steal it. You just have to be content with it. That's where you find peace.
Hmm. I think not this time of year, everyone's got so much on their mind and so much that they want to do.
What they
that
don't, but they do it anyways.
yeah, I think they don't want it, but they do it anyways. Uh, I so I mean, in the past, I just tell them they need to meditate more, but what is it that people need more is just awareness, you're saying. So they don't need to, but they can practice awareness exercises. Is that correct?
There's no determined exercise for awareness other than just being aware. If you're focused on strengthening the muscle through practices, it will happen with dedication. But
Mm.
that's still not necessarily having a muscle is not being flexible with it either. The most way to be flexible with it is to be flexible with it. And the flexibility can bring more strength than strength training itself.
That's pretty
It
profound.
gives you more of the ability to get to even more strength when you do
So,
want to.
when you say get flexible with it, do you mean like use it diversely?
Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape, and all things give thanks.
Scott's saying you should diversify.
Well, if you want to be flexible and you start training on looking at your hand, you could then move into other things, use your awareness on a day-to-day basis and everything that you do. It can become a baseline. So you can be practicing while you're out on a walk, just by paying attention to the things going on around you or within you or whatever, just by using that focus that you've accumulated, the ability to concentrate and focus and be aware of a single thing or many things or nothing.
So the thing with observation is that observation will direct everything. Energy, blood flow, activity, even on the cellular level. And awareness in a tactical way can be achieved like this. Very good. But but let's say a broader awareness, not just mentally, emotionally, or physically, on a broader, like, kind of like reading a room or how martial artists have to be aware of their surroundings. More of this kind of awareness. It's like you would know if an animal crept upon you because you're aware instead of being distracted.
Does thinking get in the way of awareness? Because or thoughts? Because like let's say you're walking in nature. Seriously, you're walking in nature and you're trying to develop that muscle and you're paying attention to the wind blowing and moving the leaves. But then you have a thought like, "Oh, that's pretty." Like or "Oh, that feels good." You know what I'm saying? Like is that going to mess up your awareness?
No, observation is always going to be observation. Only observation is not observation when it's trying to be observed. Awareness, though, is something that's either on or off.
Mm.
It's more of a subtle thing, I think, than a macro thing. Like,
You can't observe to become aware.
This a
You
good starting point?
huh?
Observing is a good starting point.
No, you don't have to observe to become aware.
Oh, okay.
I think it really comes down to focus, concentration, and attention as far as awareness is concerned. And the subtlety that you develop in that ability to feel those things tactily, um, that's essentially what awareness becomes when he's talking about it on that level.
Mm.
Yeah, it expands out to all of beyond your body even. That's
Right.
But awareness does start beyond your body, and observation is not the way to find observation. I mean, awareness. Observation is like kind of like love. It's not love unless it's unconditional. So observation, unless it's unconditional, is not actually observation. It's perspective. And awareness is beyond that. Awareness is there's no perspective whatsoever.
Well, that's
So
what
you're
I'm
saying, go ahead,
yeah,
bro.
go ahead, Scott. Well, that's kind of what I was trying to say is if you're observing something and you have a thought about it, then you're now not being aware necessarily anymore. Is that?
Think of awareness as ripples in a pool, right? You can be standing in the pool and being hit by the ripples while drinking a glass of orange juice and looking at the clouds. You still feel the ripples coming and touching you, and
Hmm.
you can be aware of the water moving even though you're not paying much attention to it at all. Similar dynamic with awareness. Like you can still be aware of different pressures and vibrations and different things that are happening in your environment and your internal environment, external and internal, that you can be perceptive of even though you aren't totally focused on them or at all, even.
Yeah, but that's like multitasking kind of, isn't it? Like
Well,
if
is
you're
it?
talking to me and I'm looking at my cell phone right now and you're talking, um, I'm like, uh-huh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm aware of what you're saying. I can recite everything you just said, but I was,
No, that's not awareness.
That's
yeah,
dividing your attention.
yeah, okay.
Let
Let's
me ask you a
explain that.
question. Can we be talking and you feel the breeze?
If we're talking, of course I can feel a breeze, yes.
Okay, can you feel the sun beating down on you?
Hmm.
So things you can perceive things even though you're doing something completely different.
Hmm.
That's how awareness works. Is it's a perception. It's not um, reliant on your attention necessarily. It can be built up with attention
Yeah,
because
you can marginalize, but still like notice if you want to observe this and that for a second, like while you're doing three things at once. Oh, there's the breeze, or the and marginalize it and do this and keep doing the other task. But that's not like literally being like aware. That's going back to where I say people are. Reason why people multitask is because they're in a fight or fleet. You see, if the flight or fleet comes out of the whole picture, we were able to remove that. And on top of that, even sync the left and right mind together. Then people would all of a sudden be in a natural state, like they were made. And with that, they would be totally aware. Observation would even know that it's observing. It wouldn't even be multitasking. It would be sincere in every action it does, wholeheartedly, genuinely.
So the best practice would be just to pick one thing to be aware of then.
No, that's observation again. That's
Mm.
fu- that's like trying to climb a mountain instead of realizing you're already on the top of the mountain.
so I mean, what practice would you suggest?
And if it's like a philosophy or a physical practice, it still wouldn't make a big difference. It literally has to be a concept that you subscribe to. It sounds terrible to use that word, but
Sounds like the Tao, man. It's like unreachable, unattainable.
you just simply have to exercise wanting to be aware. Like it matters in your life. Like it's as important as yourself or your lover or as good as whatever else. brings greatness and good. Like, how do you even like be grateful for things without it? How can you even love things without it? That element.
Right. Like you got to be aware that somebody did something out of the way for you to be grateful for it or something. Right. But
Oh,
what do you mean aware?
walking in awareness.
Huh?
Walking in awareness. Kind of like I was saying, like how a good martial artist knows his surroundings. He's not marginalizing anything to get jumped from behind. Anyone who would step up to him would know if he was aware, like, oh, I didn't catch this guy by surprise. I should just turn around and run away. He'll probably kick my ass. Excuse my language.
I guess this is just something we're gonna have to uh, talk about a lot because, oh, I mean, the concept is pretty clear, but at the same time, there's also a lot of gray areas, it seems like.
You're looking for practicality.
Yeah.
That goes back to comfort. It's not a comfortable thing. It's a liberating thing.
Hmm.
It's not uncomfortable to liberate. Actually, the contentment comes from liberation. The peace comes from liberation. You remove the shackles of why it has to be this way or that way and move this way, that way to go around the world. It's like they said in the world, the art of worldly perfection, the first axiom, what does it say? He says that even though it's very stoic or Taoist in this way, even though it's rooted in Christianity, even, it says what? Everything is always at its peak perfection.
Hmm.
If you see, your awareness knows that. When you're having true awareness, you see everything as perfect as it's supposed to be. You see that the illusion is for what it is. It's no longer an illusion. Oh, you see, I am an illusion. I will de-illusion myself.
So you're telling me it's not just wishful thinking, but to have the perception of everything is at the peak, at its peak perfection. That is awareness.
Yeah, because if you're not being, you don't see it that way. Like, how can you be aware?
But most people see that as wishful thinking.
No,
Somebody just
that's
gets
judgment.
shot. Oh, wow, that's perfect.
That's
What?
judgment. That's judgment. Look, okay, if people were more aware, less people would get shot.
Yeah, because they'll be more aware of themselves.
If they saw everything was at a peak perfection, and they wouldn't behave that way, and they wouldn't be shooting anybody. They wouldn't. The world would change if they started celebrating. Yeah. If you don't
Mm.
see anything as peak perfection, how can you celebrate life? If you don't celebrate life and you subscribe, I hate that word too, all the cynical things that are out there, or the anger, or the hate, or the emotional thing, or the ego, or this, or the
I
pain.
think that's the biggest problem why people can't see everything at its peak perfection because there's so much hate and killing and whatever going on in the world and it's put in our faces constantly that it's hard for people to see and
Okay,
to
one person is
understand.
not going to be able to change it. You see the news, and you as one person, what are you going to do to change it? Nothing. Nothing if you screamed and scratched, attacked, and tried to make a point and go down
Mhm.
history. All you will do will just hurt somebody and yourself, and it will be done and move on, and the world keeps going on with people trying to do this. Only way that this will stop is if people end up actually seeing as everything is perfect as it is, they won't do things. They'll be have the awareness. They won't be mean. They'll be compassionate. They'll be truthful. They'll be enduring to things. They'll be there to serve and be helpful. They will find contentment, and then these things can stop. They will stop automatically. If people really want to make a revolution, the revolution is not going to be going out into the external world and forcing other people and imposing their ways. It's going
Hmm.
to be by them correcting themselves internally. And when everybody starts correcting themselves, then there's not going to be any of this trifleness going on.
Mm, wow.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing really to correct other than just go back to being yourself, what you're made of, who you really are. Mm-mm. People are divided by borders, egos, intentions. I mean, everyone is trying to make it through this world, but when are they taught from the beginning how the world actually works beyond these stipulations? It's not really accessible to the majority until maybe this day and age now more than ever. But still, this is just like an infant stage.
Mm.
And there's a lot of like you see in history, there's a lot of everyone nowadays even more. They want like quick hacks. They want to take all the old stuff, match it up, put it together, find a quick answer. Everyone wants the comfort. Quick answer.
Quick solution, quick answers. Yep.
This is all complication. When like all the answers and the hacks are already like effortlessly there, it's just drop all the nonsense. Once that nonsense drops, you're actually making the world a better place. That's the only thing you can do to make the world a better place. Is actually not subscribe to it. In a way, I hate that term. I don't hate, but it's not. I don't know what
What about
language you want to use, but
what about easier said than done? Is that a good phrase?
I like the opposite.
Easier done than said.
Yeah.
yeah, it's easier done than said.
Yeah, it's about doing. I guess like I said before, it's hard for people to be aware of themselves because they see so much outside of them that is wrong, you know, in their mind. Their perception is things are wrong, things are not right. Like there's rapists and, you know, all this kind of stuff going on in the world. So how is that
True.
perfect? Even atheists
Politics,
will be like,
religion.
how is there a God if this is almighty powerful guy? Why is he letting all this bad stuff happen? Nothing's perfect. There's no God. Like I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but that was thrown in my face the other day. Like I do believe in God, but this, you know, this whole concept, um, it's hard to discuss with people that think like that, you know.
From the level of man, it's very difficult for man to grasp something like that, you know?
Mhm.
Mostly because of civilization is give us everything to keep ourselves in order. And even with all that, it's still a challenge for people to make their way with it. You know, they try to make it more simple than just being as simple as we are naturally.
Yeah.
So actually, we've been given so many tools. It's just we don't know how to use them all appropriately. And it doesn't account for anything at the end because the ultimate, we've been given all the tools to begin with.
Hmm.
Reaching for the outside is common, but reaching for the inside is less uncommon, but there's no reaching in or out. That's like trying to go to the past or the future.
Yeah.
It's rare when someone can literally take a step back from themselves.
Yeah.
The moment someone takes a step back from themselves, that's the moment where their awareness starts to, kind of like fill like a tub. And if you stay in that kind of state of stepping back, then awareness will just pour in and fill in the tub, and you'll have a big tub of water of awareness.
So not being so engaged with what they're doing will help them become more aware.
So, like, everyone feels purpose by being engaging with everything.
Yeah, like focusing
The
on this and that, and you know.
past, the future, this and that, the reality, the world, what the hell the world is doing, all this kind of stuff. It's a totally scary thing to be besides yourself, for the average person. But it is actually like returning back to home, most comfortable place and cozy place ever. Uh,
Mm.
so that awareness is like literally people are afraid to feel the top because they're afraid they'll drown in it and they'll die. They'll miss out and lose on everything else in life. And I've done some part, and they don't even realize they're just being a part of something that they don't even know they're being a part of.
Yeah, because like think about a mother. If I stop what I'm doing now,
On the
then
physical suffering.
you know there's always something to do. So when do people have time to stop and fill the tub?
When is there not time to just stop? Like why would you have to do anything? That's what people are afraid of. They're afraid if they stop, everything else will stop. No, life will keep going on.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't matter if you're alive or dead. Life will go on.
I think that's the nail on the head because the everybody's so caught up in the me or the ego that it's like what's going on here and what they're feeling is the whole world actually. So they're in this like tunnel vision, I guess. So there's no awareness when that's happening.
Yeah, for sure. It's the exact opposite of awareness. It's a reiterations of everything accumulated and being dispensed back out like it's purposeful and useful,
Mm.
as if that will bring meaning to all of this suffering. But that's because one thing is not having, therefore it's suffering.
Yeah, wanting is not having, therefore they suffer. So basically, if you want to have awareness, you got to drop the wanting, huh? If you want to develop awareness, you have to stop wanting.
Yeah, whatever that is, you have to ask questions. Why do I want this? Why do I want this? Well, I want
Mm.
this because I want a better job and more work so I can make more money. Well, I'll take you away from what about your wife and your cultivation practice or something or whatever it is. Like, no, like people say, well, if I do this, I can do more. They want stuff. So they want to play cards and deal it like a jack dealer left and right. They want to be the jack dealer and playing the cards and how everyone else is the other way by being. It's weird. It's like we're all on the end of the other table, but then there's the dealer, and people want to be the dealer all the time, like in a poker, not
Oh,
poker.
or blackjack, you mean? Yeah.
Mm, 21. And like as long as like Someone wants to be either the players or the dealer. Everyone wants to fight who's the dealer versus the player. And even though whoever agrees who's the player and dealer, everyone still loses.
So wanting leads to suffering, which leads to lack of awareness. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a cool formula.
One thing is not having, therefore it's suffering.
Wanting is not having, therefore it's suffering. Okay.
While you're in the stage of wanting and not having and suffering, that seems real.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether it's you're broke or you're rich, or you could be a rich person that you're so lonely in your rich house that if someone you call your own sister doesn't answer the phone so you could talk to, you'll be depressed. And you could be
Yeah.
broke as heck, and not having food to eat, but you're still, grateful for the fact that you're breathing, and you're still suffering. Also, you can't say the guy who's broke is suffering more than the person that's rich. When the person that's rich, that's, oh, they didn't talk to me, I'm depressed. They're just as feeling depressed as the person like, hey, I'm broken, I'm depressed. Like, who wins? No one wins. Both people are equally suffering
Mm.
because of wants and desires.
This
Now,
is a universal law then. Yeah.
one thing is not having, therefore suffering. But
Yeah.
as long as you're wanting, you're narrow focused. That like you said, narrow focus. Yeah, like the horses. They had,
Until they get it. And then once they got it, they go this to something else. What's next? What's next? What's next?
right. So they're always in a perpetual state of suffering.
Wow. And in this state, awareness cannot really truly exist. And that's, yes,
Right.
awareness can help, though, right?
Right.
If they were
While you're
to,
wanting, while you're wanting and not having, and therefore suffering, it means that you've been totally distracted.
mm,
And since you're distracted, that means your awareness is out the window.
mm, okay.
So are you
That's
saying letting go of desires and wants is key to learning how to be aware?
You don't have to like desire is a little bit different. I don't need to attach that to one thing
okay.
because you can want something and desire is a little different. Um, Desire is a powerful force to add on to your life so that what you want you can acquire.
And would you say that doing to become is kind of like what you do with desire? You have a desire, you do something about it to become what you desire.
Yeah, you acquire it, and then now the question is again, do you want something more? And then what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to desire it to get it, and all that is going to be arduous.
Mm. So they're different. Wanting and desiring, they're two different things, but
They're two
Yeah.
different words with a synonymous meaning. Yeah.
synonymous, right? So they do both lead to suffering then.
Well, one is an empty gas tank wanting, and one is the fuel for that gas tank desire,
Oh, okay. Desire is the fuel for the gas tank,
which is wanting.
So if
which
you
is,
want something, the healthy thing to do is to desire it or act on the desire of wanting it
Yeah,
and do things to become what you desire or
yeah, it's
acquire what you
arduous.
desire.
It's arduous. You will be climbing up the mountain with that.
Right.
And the desire will give you the strength to get to your one. If you just want something but don't desire it, you will never get it.
mm,
But if you do desire it, you have the strength to go start climbing that mountain and eventually get it. And then once you get it, then you'll be like, for what? Okay, now maybe I want something else. Now you know you can go do it and you can do it over and over again. Does it mean anything? Does it matter? No. It's just the way the mechanism works. Like you can achieve anything you put your mind to.
mm. How do you activate that desire force? Once you realize you want something that's empty, it's an empty gas tank. So how do you fill the gas tank with that desire energy or
Well,
force?
one thing is not having it. Desire is like already having it.
Mm. That's like a law of attraction kind of thing. Feel as though it's already there, be grateful for it, having it already.
You want to call it law of attraction, manifestation, you want to call it magic, or you want to call it neuroscience or quantum physics, it's still all the same thing. Yeah.
You imagine then that it's already there, that you have it.
It's
You
the
gotta,
state of awareness that you choose to move in.
you,
Say it again.
It's the state of awareness you choose to move in.
Mm.
Desire is choosing to be actively like purposeful in a certain direction. So all the power comes to it, makes it possible.
Mm.
Now, if you
You want
complicate it
mhm.
with scenarios, you will be shooting yourself in the foot. But if you go with the raw power, you will move quickly with it, and things happen quicker than you would even expect, and even before you know. Be careful what you wish for sometimes.
You taught me once that the past, the present, the future all exist within one plane of existence, right? They're all happening simultaneously. There's no technically there's no, you know, future happening somewhere else. It's all happening here. So that being said, that's like a quantum, I guess, perspective. But so you don't want to look at the future as like when you want something, like let's say you want $1 million. If you complicate it by trying to create scenarios, that's not good. But you do want to somewhat imagine that you already have it. Is that right?
If you create the scenarios in your mind first, then it cannot happen until those scenarios match up and line up with alignment.
So
So
that
you
will complicate it and make it harder for the what you desire to actually happen.
correct. But if you strongly desire something uninhibitedly, you will go directly in direction of it, like a predator hunting, like a tiger going into the jungle looking for something to eat. You will
Okay.
go and you will grasp it and take it, and it will come quickly. You'll put yourself right in the jungle as a tiger.
Okay. But how do you know that you're tapping into desire versus want?
Because want is just like the idea, but desire is the emotion.
So you'll feel something when you have the desire.
But you won't know that you're feeling something if you don't know what you're thinking. If you don't know what you want, you don't ask questions. How do you know what you're actually feeling and what you truly desire?
So the questions are for yourself to to see what you truly desire. So when you want something, you should ask you not should, but you could ask yourself, why do I want this? What am I gonna use it for? And then this will help you to tap into desire.
Of course, because it can be directed properly and efficiently. It's
Okay.
like I said, like gas to a gas tank.
Mm,
Gas is not bad. There's nothing wrong having gas in the gas tank. It's just having an empty tank and not being able to take any of the kind of gases that are given to it is the problem that people are facing.
mm.
They're wondering what's going on fumes constantly. They think they can get away with going another 20, 40 miles an hour just off of fumes without filling their gas tank. Because they don't know how to fill their gas tank. They're going to make a mess. They're going to spill the gasoline, burn themselves, and blow up their car.
Oh my gosh.
They're so sensitive and scared.
I see. Okay. That's pretty clear.
I mean, it's not the greatest example, but
No, that works though. Because there's everybody wants something that they don't
here's the
have.
problem: what people don't know is that you can't desire more than one thing at a time. You can
Oh,
want you can want like 50 things. But in order to
Yeah.
get one thing you want, you have to desire one thing and one thing only.
Wow.
Otherwise, you can't grow. It's like trying to grow a plant. You know, if you overwater it or you underwater it or you don't give enough light, this or that, then it's gonna happen. Same with exercising. If you focus on arms, not the legs, and legs and arms, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like a teeter. It's a ebb and flow or pendulum. Scott, you there?
Yes, sir.
What's your feelings on desire?
Well, I think that desire is, like you said, a type of fuel that will drive a person to achieve a goal that was originally a want. I think that the more that you focus and concentrate on a desire, the more likely it is that you'll achieve it because you'll make a plan to get it. The desire will drive you towards that. It's ambition is something that breeds a lot of desire. So people who have ambitions have strong desires towards things and will
Yeah, that's a great word, ambition. Exactly.
yeah.
So, 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 an ambition is a want that utilizes the force and power of desire. You have that combo going on in real time. That means you're ambitious and you're directing it in a direction. Yeah.
Yep.
Did when you were a kid and you wanted to um, work with Blizzard, right? Blizzard software, you had the want to first, and then how did you go about that? Like, did you go from wanting and then knowing that this, I have to desire this in order for it to happen?
Well, the reason why I've been able to experience so many things in my life with so many prolifically
Yeah,
talented.
I was gonna ask about music and all that too, but I just started with Blizzard because that's when you're really young.
Uh, there is there is the one, and that one, instead of 50 other ones, it was just one one. And so when there's that one in that focused mind, you can rationalize and think about all you want and self-defeat yourself or listen to people and be shut down even before you get started, even just by sharing with them and not getting the support and think you're doing the wrong thing. But when you go above and beyond that, where like when you have a one, not 50 ones, just one, then your desire you can put into that one thing, and it happens faster than you can believe.
Wow. So you're telling me then when you're that yeah, like 12 years old or whatever, 14 or something, you that's the only one thing that you wanted was to make a video game or to make music for them or like I
Yeah,
know you made
at that moment in time, that's the only thing I wanted to do. So
wow.
all my
Okay.
desire, all my effort, while everyone else would be like, "What's the point of that?" Or you could do 50 things and and they spread their desires over a lot of things and have a lot of things they want, they desire, they get a little bit of it, this and this and this and that. But to get like hit home, like hitting like the bullseye, yeah, it's just you got to pick one thing and pour all that. You got to pick one tank and pour all the gas into it.
Okay.
So you're
So
saying like a high degree of focus and concentration is important to the level of desire required to attain things that you want.
Yeah, because we live in a world full of distractions. and options.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
if we allow ourselves to multitask with all of these distractions and options, where is like the main, most important, like one or two or three things you really focus on? Where does it go? It gets set to the side, like like one of those football players who sit on the bench. But if you want to be like the guy who's off the bench and go actually play the game and be one of like the star players, you literally have to have that focus, concentration, dedication, and put your all into it. Like you're not really thinking about everything else. Like that's all you think about, even if everyone else thinks you're crazy. You're thinking about that thing and only focusing on one thing when the whole life is going around you. You should be doing everything else everyone else is doing, like we are. Like if we did, then we'd be like you, instead of doing the things that people are doing, what they do what they do. Excuse me.
I think the levels of focus and concentration from the outside would look like obsession to most people, but
Yeah,
the reality is you have to focus and concentrate to that degree in order to put the
ambition.
required
It's
energy in.
ambition, not obsession.
Say
What's
again.
that?
It's a healthy ambition, not a toxic obsession.
Right, but from the outside looking in, somebody might mistake that, for that,
Yes,
make
yes.
it
They will
a
say
bit of an
healthy
observation.
ambition looks like a toxic obsession.
Right, but in reality, they just have the focus and concentration to get what they desire.
It's also hard to know the difference between when you're obsessing versus being ambitious, and whether your ambition is healthy or toxic, or your obsession is healthy or toxic either. Ambition is going to be good for the world, but if it's healthy, and if it's obsession, it's also healthy. It's going to be good for yourself. But if it's unhealthy obsession, it's bad for you, and if it's unhealthy ambition, it's bad for the world.
Oh, wow. So obsession has to do with you, ambition has to do with others.
Yes. Well, people get confused with the two. They think ambition is mine, and they think obsession is possessive of others.
Yeah.
Usually,
And that's backwards then, huh?
that's why one's bad. Both of them.
That's why what's bad?
It's bad for both of them.
Mm.
That's the bad version of both.
Wow.
So
It's
going back
like
to
you're
the
saying if you have the ambition to take over the world and genocide everybody, that would be a bad thing.
yeah,
And if you had an obsession with taking over the world and genociding everybody, that would be a bad thing.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But if you had an
But it
obsession
might
with
feel good
eating
to
ice
it might
cream,
feel good to people because the way the world is. I don't know what they feel like.
What were you saying about obsession, Reza?
oh, so if you have an obsession with eating ice cream, that's not necessarily bad for the world. That's just going to be bad for you, right?
Yeah, that would be correct.
If my ambition every night is to eat a bowl of ice cream, that's not going to affect the world. That's going to affect me.
It could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It just depends on lifestyle and things like
Well,
that.
if your ambition is to eat ice cream every day, then you're trying to make ice cream for everyone else better in the world. If your obsession is to eat ice cream for yourself, you're not making the world want to eat ice cream anymore. If not, if anything, they'll be like, fuck ice cream more while you enjoy it the most and destroy yourself.
Ah, so the ambition
Excuse my
would
language
benefit
there.
others.
The
Ambition,
ambition to make the best ice cream in the world, yeah, I'd say that would benefit everybody.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Well, no, I mean, if my ambition was to eat a bowl of ice cream every night, then I may go
it's not
beyond
your
that.
no, no. You can't be ambitious about
Yeah, that would be a desire that you fulfill, a want that you fulfill.
Hmm.
that is an obsession.
Yeah.
You eating ice cream every night is you being obsessed with eating ice cream.
That would get old real quick.
Or not, forever.
Yeah,
People like,
unless you're obsessed, and then you're gonna eat it every night, right?
and
Some, yeah,
if you get to eat it, you'll feel comfortable.
some people they want to be able to afford the time and the money to eat a bowl of ice cream every night. And
They want to
so
be comfortable.
yeah, to be comfortable. And so then although they want the $1 million also, that $1 million is going to become harder for them because they have this other want that they're keep fulfilling. Right?
Well,
Absolutely, yeah.
in a way, yeah, you can't divide your wants. Like you would have to sacrifice the ice cream if you really wanted that $1 million. But necessarily, or not the ice cream itself, but the focus. Yeah, like so many people are already focusing on like it's easier to have ice cream tonight than actually do the hard work to make the $1 million.
Let me just go have this
Uh,
bowl. Ah.
So, I mean, ice cream costs like $10 for a thing of it, right? So, I mean, that's like for most people, that's an hour, maybe 30 minutes worth of work every so often that they have to set aside. Then they got to eat it every night. It's going to take 10, 15 minutes to eat or whatever. So that's like anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes of time they could have spent planning getting rich.
yeah,
They waste every single day.
habitual rituals. Yeah, you literally can you pick and choose. Like you can't do both at the same time. Like you can't play a video game and watch a TV show at the same time. You think you can, but are you really actually catching everything in the show? Or are you actually catching everything in the game? No. It sounds fun, like to do it, and people love to do that. And you can, like, hey, I've done that. Like, hey, let me put on my favorite show while I play a game, and I can enjoy this and this at the same time. Put some food on the side with some snacks, and a little cozy and nice and comfortable. But no, you can't do anything. If you're really trying to get something out of the game, you won't get it. If you're trying to get something out of that show, you won't get it. If you're doing both at the same time, you either just watch the show or you play the game. Then
That's
you get
fair.
the most out of it. Not only you're doing your self service by multitasking this way, you're not even doing the things that were created by the people who created for you to give you a service. You can't even get the most out of it.
Mm. Hmm. All right. That makes sense. What else? What else we got for seafood, Scott? Anything else?
I didn't have any questions prepared or anything, but
That's fine. Anything come up today or any
nah, I just cooked all day long, pretty much.
nice?
Well, it is Thanksgiving, so how was your Thanksgiving holiday?
It was pretty good. I rotisserie a chicken, or not chicken, a turkey breast. The thing weighed like 12 pounds. It was quite big. And we had twice baked potatoes and some broccoli casserole. And um, my girlfriend made baked mac and cheese and cornbread. It's
That's
pretty good.
solid. Nice.
Right, so you guys did a combo.
Yeah. Yep. She makes really good macaroni and cheese and cornbread. So,
That's great, man. Some soul food.
yeah. Yeah. I want to learn how to make collard greens.
Those
I
are
haven't
good
made
too.
those before, but they're really good.
Ain't good for you.
Yeah.
So it looks like we've been on here for a while. Before I let you guys go, let me just ask you guys in reflection as a recap of what you guys got from today's session of
You broke up a
philosophizing
bit.
and
What'd you
chatting
say?
it up and talking. Huh?
What do you want to ask us?
Just a recap of what, reflecting on what we discussed today, what you guys took from it. I'm curious.
Well, we need to celebrate more. That'll help relieve stress and anxiety and depression. Celebrating on a day to day basis is important, something that helps us celebrate and stay in that celebration is awareness. And, building up focus and concentration can help with building awareness, but awareness is really just found within yourself all the time. Um, Comfort leads to sensitivity, which leads to stress, which is a vicious cycle because stress usually leads back to comfort, which leads to sensitivity, which leads to stress. So we got to break that cycle some way. Um, One of the good ways to do that is to build awareness, of what's going on, to know that that cycle is happening, and to to change it by maybe building up our resistance to stress, not seeking out comfort all the time, but actually seeking out some stressful situations so that we can become a little less sensitive and, endure the things that we find to be uncomfortable a little better. That way, when we do enjoy comforts, we don't need so much comfort and we don't become so sensitive and we don't become so stressed in that cycle. Division largely seems to lead to discomfort, and community, I would say, is largely affected by division, which leads to discomfort. So I think that people coming together is largely affected by all the divisive qualities that have been pushed on the society in general, which leads to the discomfort, which is why we stop getting together and being present so much. It's because we're so divided in so many different ways. Um, and then we spoke on desire and ambition, and how having wants can lead to desire and desire can lead to ambition, and how that can be healthy or unhealthy depending on what it is you have desires or ambitions for. Um, and that's kind of what I got.
Nice.
That's 100% absolutely.
And to add to that, the the fact that wanting is the act is not having, and not having is suffering, and suffering is happening while suffering is taking place. Awareness is out the window, and so therefore there's this stress, this anxiety that builds up from the stress that's always there. And so to to stop that is the stress and anxiety. Yes, awareness, but before you can even get to awareness, you got to ask yourself, why, what is it that I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like, why am I not able to be aware? It's because something underlying is causing suffering, and that's the feeling of not having and wanting.
Well, yes, both you guys are absolutely correct, and that's beautiful. It's just the ultimate question, and I'll leave you guys with this: is that for our listeners, if we're gonna put this out there, is that literally, what is it that you truly want to add into your life? Because pretty much everything you need, you probably already have. But if you want something, it's simply to add on to what you already have. And if that's the case, it doesn't have to be um, a difficult, suffering thing. It's just the way of the approach must be taken. You got to play by the rules, like in a way, and it's possible. No one says you can't want something, and that see one thing is not suffering because it's not having. That's because no one knows how to get what they want by not wanting it so much and just getting it.
Right, that chain of want to desire to ambition has
Correct.
to be fulfilled in order to stop the wanting in the first place. Otherwise, you'll just continue to want and suffer. If you don't do anything about it, you don't
This goes
become
back
it.
to your series on your books, choice. You have to make a choice, otherwise you can't start without the choice.
And that choice would be, in this case, desiring the thing.
One thing, not multiple things at once.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Focused desire.
Yeah. You don't want 50 things at once. And you don't even desire them. You're going to be bombarded with trials and tribulations or miserable. I don't know how to explain it, but no. That's I don't want to be so negative, but this is drowning at that point. If you don't know that you're actually wanting things, that's why people have to ask questions. What do I really want? Okay, if I get what I want, then what does that mean, and why? Why did I want that? I want that. I want to have a good job so I can make a lot of money. Okay. Now, once you have a lot of money, what are you gonna? Why do you want a lot of money? Because I want people to see me with status, respect me, have influence, be able to do whatever I can do with money, make a comfortable life for myself and my family, whatever. Okay, why do you want that? Because if people don't go asking these questions, they'll just stop right at the beginning. I want the money and everything will be good, and I want everything will be good. And then when they have it, they'll say, "Well, I want more of it because that's good." And then they'll miss out on so many things. Okay, so you got all the money that you already needed to go have a nice Thanksgiving with your family, but you decide to go to work to get more money instead of actually spending time with your family tonight.
Hmm.
That's sad.
What you want the money? What about this scenario? You want the money and you figure out why because you want to be able to buy all this stuff or whatever it is. And so then you realize that this job will get you the money. So you obsess over the job, like a lot of people that we know.
Yes, yes.
Many
That's
men
good.
do this. Yeah, it's very common.
It's not good, right? Because you're obsessing.
What happens to your wife or your hobby
I mean, a lot of these men will say, "I'm
or
doing
your
this to
kids?
put my kids through college," or you
To
know what I
put
mean?
my kids.
Like,
Yeah. Yep. To make sure my
So then
family is well off.
you're too busy working to put your kids through college that you don't even know your kids.
You
exactly,
don't
it's
even know
true.
them. That's the majority of a lot of fathers that we know.
Hmm.
And are they really doing a good job for that? No, the most people because they have 50 million desire like wants, they don't know how to focus on one desire. They end up not even though they're like drudging through to like believe and convince themselves that's what they're doing the right way. They're not really effective at doing it at all.
Well, they want to eat the good food and they want to, have the whatever nice cars and they want these clothes and so, they
They
got to
care
get all
what
these
other
things
people think
too.
about them.
Yeah, worry about what other people think. They want everyone to think they're awesome and, the best. So it's like all these wants and obsessions over wants are not allowing what they truly want to happen.
The
Most
weakest
wants are
person,
shallow.
yeah, because the weakest person is actually the one who doesn't have any desires. Unfortunately, desires doesn't have to be good or bad. You can be a bad person and desire strongly and win with your badness. You can be a good person. But the thing is, people don't know how to desire it. They're too afraid to make a choice desire. They just want everything without having to desire it.
Yeah, and that's the big reason why people are suffering then, huh?
And more in this day and age because it helps them be with everything that's given to us be comfortable. Instant gratification, lack of
Yeah.
intention, which leads to lack of awareness, and lack of awareness leads to confusion, and confusion. It's just like, I gotta go through life. Like you don't understand what I'm going through.
Wow. Yeah, we didn't get to that topic yet, but that's maybe something we can talk about next time. Lack of attention leads to lack of awareness. Attention span, at least.
Instant gratification, it doesn't help.
Hmm.
Comfort. Yeah,
Well,
it's all the same topic. It's just underlining the same kind of concepts.
yeah. Well, we got to figure something out because this is the world that we live in. Instant gratification is everywhere, and that's what everyone's seeking, it seems like.
Okay, if I were to give everyone like an instant magical pill to
Yeah,
make their life better, would you take it? You would.
of course.
I mean, most people, not you, or I'm saying most people would. If you could give a magical pill, they'd be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
if it's third
absolutely.
party tested and scientifically proven and organic,
Nah, even simpler than
of
that.
course.
Like, just imagine like some sci-fi world, like where you could just eat like one
Yeah,
pill
the
and
movie Limitless. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect example.
yeah, or like even like that Lucy. Yeah,
Yeah, that one too.
like how would you handle that? Like if you were given the pill, it's gonna be like a radical change. Like even if what you very asked for, like you wish that you just could have a magical pill to make everything better, and you will realize, whoa, you got a lot of responsibility.
It's like the Matrix. You almost rather eat the other pill and enjoy your steaks rather than
Some
realize
people
that
would.
it's cardboard.
Yeah, some people absolutely would.
Mm.
So, like it's always there. Like I said earlier, it's inexhaustible. And that's because our natural state is we are so advanced beyond our own comprehension that we haven't even caught up to ourselves while we're making technology even as advanced as it can't even that technology we're creating can't even touch on where we're at for what we're capable of, and yet we still don't know. Yet we do this stuff. So this when you look at that perspective, when has anyone been taught or take the time to really dive in deep and reflect upon themselves of what they truly are and what they are? If you don't know who you are or what you are, then how are you supposed to do anything without going through the world like it's um, a fencing match?
You're right, but the average person doesn't see that they don't know who they are. Average person believes that they know who they are. So there's no need
Average
to,
person thinks that if you gave them a fencing knife or sword, that they will be able to fence, and especially because they've seen someone else fence, that they're able to just step forward and jab forward and think that's going to be a move that will defeat their opponent. But they're sadly wrong if their opponent is going to be actually a good fencer.
yeah.
And you know who's the good fencer? The universe. He'll always beat you every time, always win the game. We think we're between the macro and the micro, and we think we are affecting anything. No, I believe in destiny. Everything is predestined, but fates, that's something that we have an option for. You say free will, you have a choice. Free, there's a destiny for everyone. Everyone plays a role, but fate is where you end up because of your choices.
We're all
Yeah.
destined to die, but
You have free will to go against your destiny, and that's just you choosing your fate. Because if you go by destiny, you'll be fateless.
Hmm. Well, like I was saying, we're all destined to die, but you can choose your fate to die now or later.
We're all destined to live forever.
That's true.
The only thing that expires is the body.
Yeah.
The only thing expires is is all the material things that have been given to you to be responsible for because they go through entropy. So while you're timeless, other things are not timeless, so to speak. Destiny knows that all of us are timeless, but they gave us free will to get our hands dirty with materialism, materialistic world. So if we want to get our hands dirty, we can pick a fate because entropy is happening to everything from your tabletop collecting dust to all the things you, monies, riches, or things you accumulate. How you use them to none of that really matters to destiny. That's just at this point in your own hands. You're putting it in your own hands. So that is fate. When you put things in your own hands with your free will, you are creating your own fate. And usually when people don't even know it, that they're choosing their own fate because they've been programmed by whatever external environment, they don't know their original self, their true nature, for them to go and follow their destiny. They're, they're totally like bamboozled into picking a fate and living and dying by it.
Hmm. I was coming at a perspective of destruction, but you're talking about destiny to accomplish something, right?
Speaking of predetermined purpose and your ability to use free will to choose whether or not to fulfill that purpose or fulfill any purpose for that matter.
Yes, the best we can do is mess it up.
What you're destined for.
Yeah. If you go along with the flow of your life, you'll be fulfilling your destiny essentially. If you choose to do something counter to what you feel drawn to do, you would be going against your destiny using your free will.
And this
Out
is
of
why
want.
in the old days they used to say you shouldn't be moved by your heart to go take actions because most of the heart is emotional action that's coming from everyone else who's using free will, not knowing what they're doing, and we're feeling the vibe of that kind of thing, which puts us in a perpetual state of not knowing but feeling. And
Mm.
so you have a lot of challenge here and opportunity and freedom at the same time, whether one knows it or not.
Wow, that's well put. Fate, fate is basically we can make a choice to go against our destiny, and that is changing our fate, right? Choosing a fate as opposed to staying aligned with your destiny.
Yes. And it's not scary. It's actually, like I said, people want to be comfortable and they become complacent when they're really just seeking. Well, no, I mean, they want comfort, so they conform when they're just looking for um, being content. No, wait, I'm getting my things confused. Guys, I think I have to go here. Let me use the restroom.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We'll save.
We could chop this up if you want to.
Yeah, we'll save what we got for another day.
We
That's
can
good.
continue.
We could do this every day. There's a million topics. We just touched on like one or two.
Yes.
And we may come back around, and see how everything is actually related, but it's cool. We'll, every day will seem a little bit similar, but it'll be different.
I'm
It's
open
everything.
for everything.
Yeah, we'll touch on all topics.
Let's do it. Sounds
All right.
great.
Well, this was great. Thank you guys. Everyone's input is
Thank you,
super
Reza.
awesome.
Thank you, Reza. Thank you, Scott.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving, brother.
Thanksgiving, brother. Yeah. Peace.
Catch y'all on the flip.
All right. We'll do it again.
Yay.
See you tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Have a great night.
Peace, peace, guys. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for staying tuned and watching. Happy Thanksgiving to the world.
Forever.
One love. Thanks again, Sifu.
Yeah.